If you're looking to grow some tree trunk thighs, then we've got you covered because today I'm giving you 5 of the best exercises to blow up your quads. All right, let's get into it. So the first exercise that we're gonna go through is the pendulum squat. Now, if you don't have access to a pendulum squat, then a hack squat is also a good alternative. But this machine in particular is absolutely fantastic because it provides a lot of stability and it allows you to perform a very, very deep squat without having to worry as much about the technical demand of something like a barbell back squat. Now, the thing that you need to be mindful of when you're using this machine is controlling the negative. So when I climb in here like this and I unhook, I want to make sure that I'm not falling into the rep. I still control on the way down, 3 to 4 seconds, try and get as deep as I can without rounding the lower back if I can help it, or lifting the heels. So I keep the heels down, keep the lower back relatively flat, control the negative nice and slowly, and then push up strong, trying to get as much depth as possible on each rep. So exercise number 2 is going to be the belt squat. Now again, similar to the pendulum or the hack squat, this is a very good machine because it provides a lot of stability. One of the other good things about a belt squat is the belt goes around your waist or around your hips, which means that it doesn't load the spine. So it's very, very good if you're having any lower back problems or anything like this, because the weight isn't bearing down on your spine, it's here around your waist, okay? Second thing, if you're struggling to hit depth when you're doing the squat because the platform is flat, one of the things that you can do is use plates or anything else to elevate the heels slightly, because we still want to achieve the same range of motion or similar range of motion as we were doing when we were doing something like the pendulum squat. So for me, I will put the plates here so I can elevate my heels slightly. Then I'm going to hook in. Some belt squats are a little bit different, so the design might be slightly different. From here, I'll pull the handles towards me, and then I'm going to control the negative, trying to get as much depth as I can, driving those knees over the toes, and then driving out of that bottom position. So I have this heel elevation, which is going to help me get lower than I normally could, which is hopefully going to help me stimulate the quads even more, get good depth, and then push out of the bottom position. Exercise number 3 that we're going to go through is a leg extension. Now, full disclosure, this isn't a normal leg extension. This is a different machine that we use as a makeshift leg extension, but that's how important the exercise is that I'm still going to demonstrate it on this. Obviously, if you have access to a proper leg extension machine, it probably will be a little bit better because it's going to provide more support for the legs and the back, but I'm still going to demonstrate the other aspects of the technique just so that you have an understanding. But obviously, you can read the instructions on your own machine to get a better idea of how to use it. So when you're using a leg extension, obviously you climb in here like this, okay? From here, try and keep the toes pulled back, and then try and get a full extension on the quads if you can. All right, so I'm controlling the negative down, getting as much knee flexion as I can. Again, slightly limited because of this, but if your machine allows you to bend the knees a little bit more, then you can. And then fully straighten here at the top. Keep that control and go for as many as you can, and flexing the quads hard at the top of the movement. So exercise number 4 is going to be a sissy squat. Now, in some ways, this is similar to a leg extension in the sense that it also targets the rectus femoris. So it can be used as a replacement, especially if you don't have a leg extension machine, or just in combination with that to really target that muscle. So the first example I'm going to show you is with the machine here. Okay, this is very nice if you have it. It provides a fair amount of stability. Can be a little bit scary at first, but once you get used to it, I promise you, it does feel very safe and not really a problem as long as you're controlling the range. From here, I have the pad set just below my knee. I don't want it blocking my knee, okay? And then from here, I'll try and keep the torso relatively upright as I sit back into the movement, here like this, and then pushing up. So I'm sitting back here, getting as deep as I can, and then pushing through, okay? Keep the control, and take your time when you're doing this one, especially at first. Now, if you don't have this, there is a couple alternatives. The first one being a sissy squat without the machine, which can be kind of difficult, but I'm going to demonstrate it. One of the easiest ways is probably to use a rack at first for stability or something to hold on to. And then in this position, you'll go onto the balls of your feet. Try and keep the hips relatively straight so this torso angle will stay roughly the same. as I'm bending my knees and pushing them forward, getting to the floor, and then pushing up like this. Okay, so from here, I'm trying to maintain. You can see me shaking a bit because your core is going to be challenged when you're doing this. From here, dropping down and pushing up, okay? Now, obviously, you can see even I'm struggling a little bit with this one. I haven't done them for a while, if I'm honest. But if this one is still a challenge, then there is also another regression called a reverse Nordic. These all target the same muscle, okay? The rectus femoris. This one is a little bit easier. From here, I'm using the bench just as a reference point. It kind of helps to let me know how much range I'm going to go. I can actually move a little bit further away from the bench if I want to lean back further, or I can go a little bit closer to the bench if I want to make it easier and keep my reps consistent. From here with this one, similar position of the torso. I can put my hands across my chest, and then again, leaning back. Here, again, shaking a little bit at the end. Control, and push up. And again, works very similar to the sissy squat there, or here. Okay, so the last exercise that we're gonna look at today is split squat and lunges. We're gonna pair them together because there's a lot of similar benefits. One of the big ones being that if you're limited on equipment, yeah, obviously a lot of the other exercises were equipment-based, but this one, you don't really need much, okay? You can have a step if you need to elevate the front foot. Lunges don't really require much at all. And then one of the other good things about them is they help to address imbalances, especially if you notice that like one side feels a little bit stronger than the other. You can sort of cater to that to an extent. So when you're setting up, we're gonna do the front foot elevated version. I find that if your ankle mobility is a little bit limited, or if you're starting out, this can be a little bit easier to achieve a good range of motion, which from here, we're focusing on driving the knee forward over the toes when we're in this position here like this. So I'm on the ball of my back foot. I keep my torso up. I try and focus on driving the knee forward over the toes, getting into that deep squat position, and then pushing out at the bottom. Again, I want to try and keep the foot relatively flat as I push through the movement, and I'm thinking of getting my hamstring to cover my calf. So I'm really driving this knee forward, trying to close that gap as much as possible, here like this, and then push out. Again, I'm using this for stability, but I'm trying not to push. And same with the back leg here, it's just for balance. You want to focus on pushing mainly off this front foot when you're in that bottom position. So I go down, and then from here, I'm really trying to drive hard out of this bottom position here. Now, the other movement that I was talking about, lunges, again, follows a very similar pattern. From here, this is more in movement. So if you struggle more with balance, I would suggest starting with the split squats because lunges have a moving component. So they can be a little bit more difficult in that regard. From here, you want to try and maintain a good stance width when you're doing these lunges as you move through. So a lot of the time when I'm doing it here, we have a line that I can see in the middle. I try and put one foot either side of that line and maintain that so my stance width is good throughout. You can put your hands on your hips to help maintain balance. Obviously, if you're relatively strong, you might want to be adding weight, so you may be holding dumbbells or a barbell, etc. But from here, I'm just going to go in this position, step forward, try and control the descent. And in this position, you can either come up to this neutral stance and then step forward, or you can just go into each rep here like this. I'm trying to control the descent. I don't want to be moving so fast that I'm slamming my knee into the floor, and still maintaining this upright torso as I control my descent, and then getting to the stage where the knee is either just before the floor or very gently touching the floor. So I just control here like this. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, then don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. If you have any ideas for other muscle groups that you want us to cover, then just let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.